Hello. Thank you for joining our first ever podcast from Organic Gut Solutions. We're going to be presenting our speaker for that, and we'd like to just get some information out to our listeners just so we can get an idea of nutrition and what is going to be important for to allow you to get a better health and lifestyle that's going to give you a longer term effect and better enjoyment. So what I want to do today is I want to introduce Carl Dipiazza, who is the president of Organic Gut Solutions. Carl, nice to meet you.
Steve. Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to find out a little bit about how Organic Gut Solutions started and how you got into working with humans and their digestive issues.
So essentially, my wife and I had a very young puppy that had digestive issues, and we went to many high-level veterinarians, and they said, this is just the way the dog is, and you have to live with it. And it was all digestive issues. After he ate, he would throw up bile. He was very uncomfortable. He wasn't growing at the right pace. And we'd been working with carbon prior to that. We have an organic fertilizer company that's carbon-based.
Yeah.
And I'd been experimenting with using carbon on digestive systems. And so he was really our first test case, and it went really well. That was 11 years ago. And we've developed our products since then for animals and for humans, but it was all based on making that puppy more comfortable and having a better quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah. You used to say that we had the same issue with our two puppies that we had with regards to just not being able to have a solid bowel movement. And since your product should be used, it was giving them a better result digestively, and we could see that they were getting healthier too, and they wouldn't itch as much. They wouldn't. One of them has a social anxiety issue, and that seems to have gotten better too. So there's been kind of a stress release too for those animals also.
Yeah, it's amazing how many indicators there are in people or in animals that really point to digestive health and the imbalance in your digestive system. Things like itching, social anxiety, hair growth, just discomfort overall, poor sleeping habits, the frequency of going to the bathroom. All of those things are really indications of how imbalanced your whole system is.
Yeah.
And your body constantly tries to balance that. And given the right tools, a lot of those things can get much better. But on its own, and without changing lifestyle or without changing intake, it's very hard for that to change. And so your body is constantly trying to adapt to what you subject it to.
Yeah.
And our product actually is a tool to transition some of the issues that your body faces, like inflammation, skin issues, itching, dry skin, and it relieves and it eliminates those triggers in your gut that cause those things. And that's one of the beauties of our human product. There are many signs that your body is overworking to digest and to draw the nutrients out of the food that you ingest, and that it's having a hard time. Frequency of going to the bathroom is one of the biggest indicators. People don't realize that the more you go, the less you're absorbing of the less nutrients you're absorbing from the food that you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the early signs that your stomach is struggling, and the microbiome in your stomach just cannot keep up and is not designed to digest the type of food that you eat.
Correct.
So with Organic Gut Solution, or OGS, it actually will break down some of the food in your gut so that it makes it easier and more digestible for your stomach to absorb it. And we see one of the results of taking OGS is that you have less frequency of going to the bathroom.
Okay.
And you get more out of it. You actually are full a little bit quicker because your body's not nutrient deprived, and it actually feels better. And the cycle of digestion becomes complete.
Mm-hmm.
Where when you're going to the bathroom often, the cycle is not complete. You're actually pushing out more waste and not absorbing it, and your body is constantly trying to grab nutrition out of it.
Yeah.
And it just really struggles all the time.
So I know with your product, you have a kind of unique method of extracting the carbon out of the wood that you're using. and then you actually, carbon is a positively charged substance in nature, but what you do is you reverse the charge on the carbon molecule to a negative charge. And so what does that do when it goes through the digestive system?
So by flopping the ionic charge to a negative charge, the bacteria that affects your ability to absorb is about 95% gram positive. By having a negatively charged carbon, such as OGS, it actually will absorb that bacteria before it disrupts your digestive system. So it will stop the colonization and the growth of that bacteria and the spreading of that bacteria to overrun your digestive system, your microbiome, all of the amino acids and enzymes in your gut. It will actually balance that by pulling that bacteria out. And it does a very efficient job of isolating the toxins and the nutrient blockers that are in everyday food in society now, between the environment and air quality, water quality, food quality. It pulls all of that out because of that ionic charge.
Good. Yeah, no, I like the idea that it pulls out, obviously heavy metal stuff also, but it clears up those, what we call pathogenic organisms that are actually creating, for a common term, leaky gut syndrome.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, what a leaky gut is, that my understanding is that in your digestive tract, there's a mucosal layer, okay, that houses the bacteria that are helping to break down and absorb those nutrients. And if there's an increase in, we call the bad bacteria and viruses that are in that mucosal layer, it overruns the good bacteria, and now you have other toxins and things that are being released or absorbed into your bloodstream that are creating a whole bunch of other things, everything from brain fog to autoimmune disorders, skin rashes, lesions like that. We have people that have acne that with their gut being resolved, the acne cleared up. Okay, so it's a big part of everyday life, like you said, because of the whole bunch of different influencers or stressors that get put in environmentally and so on, that it just creates a disruption. And so the real key here is we want to make sure that your digestive gut health stays healthy, even with all those stressors being bombarded into your system. So that's the key thing that I think people need to realize, is that even though you don't feel like you're having that, we're trying to make sure that your gut is healthy enough, and the nutrients that you're taking in, whether it's for athletic performance or just normal general optimal health, get absorbed properly. Okay, and you're not just, for another word, flushing it down the toilet, because basically that's what happens when you don't absorb things properly.
Yeah, that's correct. And to add to the mucus wall description that you gave, the mucus wall is actually surrounding the villi that are attached to your stomach wall, which is where your blood absorbs nutrients. So if you contaminate that mucus wall with toxins, with heavy metals, with let's say poor nutrition, there's no way to absorb better nutrition through that membrane, because that's the gatekeeper to your bloodstream. And what OGS does is it cleans up that mucus wall. It pulls all of those toxins out of the mucus, the fat. It cleans the villi and increases the blood flow through that membrane, so that now you're actually cleaning your blood by taking OGS, in a sense, that it's pulling those toxins out of your system, and then it's coming out in your stool. And that's the healthiest way to take it out. By extracting it where nutrition is transferred, you're getting a much higher efficiency in your gut. And so it will give you more energy. You're not working so hard to process what your stomach's not designed to process. So heavy metals are in everything that we consume, from toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, prescription drugs. They're all based in, many of them are based with aluminum and other metals and zinc to be carriers into your system. Well, all of that goes through your bloodstream, through your gut, and OGS actually is very effective at pulling that out and now relieving the stress on your liver, on your kidneys, on your blood itself, to transfer, hold, and distribute nutrient, enzymes, and proteins. So it's very effective at balancing all of that as you go. So in an athletic person, they're going to have more energy. They're actually going to feel better while they're working out and after they work out. They find that they have more energy left, or that it's not as difficult when they deplete their energy to actually restore it and rebuild it, because you're getting much more out of what you're doing.
Right.
Your OGS increases the oxygen in your blood, so you're actually capable of more and you feel better. So if you have a problem sleeping, this will help to actually take out the stressors that are actually keeping your immune system from circulating properly.
Right.
It increases the connection of your vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is really responsible for the fight or flight reaction. And by having a better connection there, your body can process danger before you react to danger. And we find that's a big benefit in people that have anxiety. They're actually not as flighty because their brain understands more from their gut, as opposed to it reacts and then it assesses. So that's been one of the most consistent, common responses that we've gotten from people that take our capsules, that they just don't feel as edgy, and their immune system is stronger, but their cognitive ability is much sharper and much more comfortable. And that actually will help you sleep much, much better.
So they get a better night's sleep. Their mood is much better also. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen that definitely.
And like you said, acne or skin issues or dry skin, they're all very, very significant indicators of poor circulation in your gut. And when you see people with acne, that is, your stomach wall reflects your skin, and your skin reflects your stomach wall.
Yeah.
So when you have lesions on your skin or acne or anything like that, you have the same, it mirrors the lining of your stomach. And when you have that kind of a disruption in that membrane, you can't absorb a lot of good nutrition, and you can't hold on to minerals and use that to absorb and to actually get the benefit out of the food that you're eating.
Exactly. Now, how has this been tested in regards to showing these things that you're talking about?
So we do a lot of testing on animals. We do a lot of university studies on digestive health. We do mostly chicken, turkey, pig, cattle, because they have the quickest reactions to problems and then solutions or clearing up issues that are introduced. And swine and chicken are the most similar to human digestion.
Yep.
And we've done a lot of university studies on exactly the impact that OGS has on the gut and the benefits that the gut will feel by having these toxins pulled out.
Yeah.
And University of Florida has been very helpful in doing a lot of the studies for us, but we've also done a lot of studies with the University of Georgia, University of Arkansas. Then we're working with many other universities as well to get the right data to continue to check our formulas and to improve our product every chance that we get.
All right. So you do have third-party testing that
absolutely
documents that.
Yep.
Good.
We do lab testing on every batch of product that we make, just to check impurities, to check the concentration of the product, and to make sure that all of our levels are correct.
Good.
It's an organic product,
Yeah.
and it's a natural product.
Yeah.
So there is going to be some variation in the concentration of the product, but we have parameters that we've set that the product will stay within.
Okay.
And we found that to be the best over years. We did about 6 years of testing, 6 to 7 years of testing before we ever put it on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that was with universities and labs to understand the action, the reaction, and the benefit.
Okay.
And that's been very, very helpful in creating dosages, in adding minerals and vitamins to the product to keep a balance that your system generally needs.
Okay.
So.
Okay, great. That's great to know that you've had that kind of testing in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Carl, let's talk about specific digestive issues that people have. The first is heartburn or acid reflux. Does your product work with that? Okay.
It absolutely does. It actually will absorb the excess acid that causes indigestion, acid reflux, or even heartburn, because when you have excess acid, your stomach is trying to digest or it's building with anticipation what you're going to ingest. And that's really where that comes from, a higher level of acid in your stomach. And OGS will actually absorb that excess acid and relieve you of that instantly.
Okay.
A lot of our customers use our product instead of over-the-counter and some prescription
Acid blocker. Or
right,
something like that.
acid blocker and antacid type of thing.
All right.
So, and this is much, much healthier than any of the over-the-counter stuff. The over-the-counter stuff is primarily calcium trying to dilute the acid. That has a very negative effect on the rest of your digestive system, because now you're introducing in mass a mineral that it really needs a very specific amount to make everything absorbable. Now, when you coat everything with calcium, you're actually blocking a lot of nutrient absorption, and you're actually introducing the opportunity for dehydration every time you do that. With OGS, none of that happens, and you actually get much better relief in a way that your body actually will adjust to and be much better for you and more long-term.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I know there's a nutrient uptake system in that digestive lining that is dependent on specific charged particles to help make that happen. And the calcium is going to kind of clog that whole thing, and it's not going to give you a good uptake of nutrients either. So that's important. Somebody who has, like bloating, gas, burping, when either they eat or they get up first thing in the morning, and all of a sudden they're still bloated. How does that work with your product?
So OGS will actually absorb the gas in your gut that creates that bloating. Burping is generally an indication that your stomach acid is too high of a pH. So OGS will actually lower the pH of your gut so that burping will go away, because that gas is not being produced by yeast or by other bacteria that are really not suitable to be stomach gas. And that's what's happening when you get a lot of bloating and burping.
Okay.
But in animals, you can see the bloating dissipates within 30 seconds to a minute of administering OGS to your animal. So, and it works just as quickly in people.
Oh, really?
So it's very, very effective. If you have a case of bloating, take a capsule and it will go away very quickly.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
And then obviously the big thing for a lot of people is diarrhea or constipation. I mean, it seems to be the one that just keeps people's lifestyles in check, because either they're going somewhere or something, and they just don't know if this is going to be a fit for them to be able to, where's the bathroom? I just need to know where things are. And it just disrupts their whole life, because it depends on them in their either digestive constipation, diarrhea, and that kind of thing. How did your product work with those symptoms?
So it works very well, but let me say, I'm not a doctor and I don't prescribe, or even, there are many, many reasons for people to be constipated or to have diarrhea. Our product will help very much in both of those instances, because it's a disruption and an imbalance of your digestion. So in a constipation scenario, you're probably not getting enough moisture in your bowels to move everything through properly. And if it's not moving through properly, you're not breaking down the elements that you're eating so that you can absorb that nutrition, and then they pass through your system. OGS will actually help break down those nutrients and make them more available, so that it will relieve the constipation and keep your system moving thoroughly and efficiently all the time. In the diarrhea side of it, which is much more well, I guess it may not be much more uncomfortable, but equally uncomfortable. It's that is a reaction to having an imbalance of all kinds of bacteria in your gut. Product passes through your system way too quickly without being absorbed, without being broken down, without actually having a chance to feed the microbes in your system and then grow them and develop better digestion. OGS will actually pull that bacteria, the yeast, all of the issues that make that happen. It will isolate that so that your system now has a chance to get that nutrition out of it. And we see a very quick reaction in people with diarrhea and with constipation, because it's usually a very small imbalance that's creating such a big reaction. And OGS is concentrated enough that it will pull that bacteria out so that your system will start to actually build itself again. When you take prescription medications and they're, let's say, antibiotic.
Yeah.
So when you take an antibiotic, it disrupts
Yes.
completely your digestive system. It takes 21 days after you're done taking the antibiotic for your digestive system to rebuild. And in that 21 days, your body is constantly trying to repair the stripping of your gut that the antibiotic created. OGS actually will accelerate that and make that rebuilding process much, much quicker because it acts like a prebiotic and a probiotic. It will grow the bacteria that your stomach needs to digest and not introduce outside bacteria that may, at that stage of your repairing, might create a bigger disruption.
Mhm.
So it's very helpful in creating the scenario for your body to rebuild itself, which is much stronger than any additive you could take
Right.
to actually do that in your system.
Right.
One of the other interesting things about digestion that people don't realize, and this is kind of a sensitive issue, but the odor of your stool is a tremendous indicator of the efficiency and efficacy of your digestive system. Right. The greater the odor, the less efficient your system is. Right. That odor is decaying food that has not been absorbed, right, but it's breaking down and creating a disruption in your system. Yeah. And again, OGS will change that balance and therefore, let's say, decreasing the odor, but increasing your nutrient absorption because it's getting that bacteria that's decaying the food before you can absorb it. So
yeah, that's true. And another part of that too is when we talk about the product is in the toilet bowl. I mean, if you have a floating stool, that's another indicator of bad fat digestion. Yes. At that point too. So again, another part that OGS can help with also.
Absolutely. Yeah. OGS increases the nutrient density absorption of anything that you eat. The healthier you eat, the better you are. There's a lot of food on the market that looks good, it smells good, but it's really not that good for you. And as Americans, we want convenience. We want something quick and easy. And that's the go-to because of everyone having such busy lives. But that food is actually deteriorating your overall health. And it happens so minimally and so slowly that people don't realize minor changes in your diet and minor paying attention to, being aware of how fast food really affects your sleep, your cognitive ability, your immune system, your skin health, your hair health, is tremendous. And making small changes like that, instead of going out as often as you do, cut back a little bit. And you'll see over time that will actually really help you. If you don't put the energy into preparing good food, you're going to have to put the energy into fixing your health. And it's a matter of, do you pay in the beginning or do you pay in the end?
Yeah. When you were talking about selecting to not go out as often, things like that, it's an amazing statistic that 50% of Americans spend that amount of money, at least half of their bill, on takeout stuff or just not products that they eat at home. So it's a big portion of their budget that they're putting into this convenience and quick and easy kind of stuff that doesn't necessarily be nutrient dense. And millennials, it's even worse. It's up to 75% at least once a week they eat away from home. So they're not necessarily getting the best food choice, even though the menu breaks down the nutrients on the menu there too. That seems to go out the window when they go out to eat. They tend to just go based on their what they're feeling at that point, that kind of thing, and that's when they take in that food that's not of the greatest quality. That's going to affect their overall gut health and overall health when we talk about how gut is important for that.
Food is an emotional element in our lives. It's an important part of your everyday activities. You plan your day around eating, and it's important. You need the nutrition, you need the intake of vitamins and minerals and all of that. And restaurants and fast food places are very aware of how to emotionally motivate people to buy quality products that are not necessarily the best for their digestion. Right. And sometimes the convenience is much more important than the nutrition. But if people would try and shift a little bit away from that and do things like take OGS, other elements and products that you have here to help them feel better and do better, it will help them overall, their long-term health, their short-term health, the way they feel, their ability to have a higher quality of life.
Yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to. And OGS can be a big part of that. A lot of the other vitamins and minerals and everything that you sell can also be a big part of really improving the quality of the short time we have to be here. And
Right.
it's important, and more people need to realize that.
Yeah, and not only for themselves, but obviously to be there long term for friends, family, that kind of thing. So it's great to be able to enjoy life and be able to do things and not have to work your day around the fact that you're obese, you're diabetic, you have heart conditions. All those things are related to the type of input of food that you have, and people don't realize that it does really become a very, very big part of what you do. And so what I try to tell people is when they start to plan their week, is to plan the work and then work the plan. So basically what that means is as you said, small preparations of meals before you start that week can give you a much bigger benefit health-wise, not only just an overall health, but reaching your goals, whether it be increasing athletic performance, losing weight, those types of things. If you're working those things through your meal preps, you will be more expecting to improve your gut health, and then by in turn improving your overall health, instead of going to the quick fast food or the vending machine work because I don't have any time to do that. That's unfortunately at that point it's too late, because you should have prepped a day or two before what you should be doing for the week and not waiting to the last minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And some very famous people long before we were around made a statement that I think about and agree with every day. Our food is our medicine, and our medicine is our food.
Okay.
And it's a matter of, do you prepare ahead for a better life?
Yeah.
Or do you try and fix the problems that you yourself are creating by not paying attention to what you put in your body?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's important, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to just have a better quality of life, or to teach your kids how they should live in the future.
Right.
It's all important, and more people need to pay attention to that.
Yeah. So with regards to, you had talked a little bit about in discussions just about where OGS is going in regards to that. I know you had mentioned something about incorporating a probiotic into your product.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
So we are in the final stages of testing a probiotic that will be added to our capsule. We'll have a different product, a different capsule with a probiotic in it. In general, what you see on the shelves as a probiotic is a very narrow type of probiotic that is very common, the bacillus, the whole bacillus line. And that's great. That does help one element in your digestion. We've taken a much different approach to adding a probiotic into OGS, but it's a different spectrum than the bacillus family, and it actually will affect about 11,000 different bacteria in your gut and feed bacteria that is there, but needs to be a little more active and a little more current in order to have better digestion. And the probiotic field is an interesting development in nutrition, and sometimes it's very, very helpful, but overdoing probiotics will actually decrease your ability to digest. And so the studies that we've been doing and the type of probiotic that we're adding will actually never overpower your existing biology in order to digest food. And that's one of the issues that probiotic being a buzzword has created. Everybody thinks, oh, that's going to help me digest. Well, with a lot of what's on the market, it actually takes away from your digestion because it does not allow the full let's say, enzymatic breakdown of the nutrition that
Yeah.
you're eating. It will focus on one area and overdo that
Yeah.
to the detriment of
Yeah.
the other bacteria in your gut.
Yeah, you don't get the what we call the beneficial bacteria that you need for gut health. And by adding probiotics, just because it has 5 billion count of a specific type of bacteria, you're like, whoa, that's a lot. So it must be good. So unfortunately, it's overcrowded
Yes.
your digestive system. It has pushed out the other beneficial bacteria you need to fully absorb and break down those things that are in your gut to get the best benefit out of it there.
And having, because our product is an organic carbon, it will actually carry, nurture, and grow that bacteria in your gut to aid your existing bacteria to do better. So it doesn't overpower it. It doesn't take the place of it, but it actually will grow your own microbiome to develop a better ability to digest what you ingest.
Good. When do you think that will be available?
I think that by July 1st, we should have everything available to be on the market.
Okay.
We've done extensive testing on it in animals and in people. I'm actually currently taking it now, and I've been on it for probably 4 months now. And I was impressed with OGS to begin with. This has taken it to a level that I would have never imagined.
Okay.
So it's really, really helped me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Cognitive, as well as weight gain, weight loss, circulation, just an overall feeling when I get up in the morning. I have energy, I have excitement. I'm more ready for my day without really doing a whole lot of prepping.
Yeah. Good.
And then the prepping on top of that just makes my day much more
Good.
beneficial and energetic.
So I know we've talked about a lot of digestive conditions that this can be helpful for. Some of these people that are watching us are going to say, well, I really don't have any gut issues, but you've told me that the majority of the people that you have your product with are for people that really don't have these major digestive issues. Can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Our product was made and designed as a daily use, as an everyday product, because you're exposed to toxins in everything you eat, everything you drink, every breath you take. If you're in a city, there's a lot of toxins in our environment, and you're bombarded, your body is bombarded with it, where your skin is exposed to, your hair, all of that. And OGS is designed to keep those toxins at a minimal impact on your system. So you may not think you have digestive problems. You may not think you have a toxin problem in your system, but we found that people that take it consistently actually have a much, much healthier being by using it all the time. Even though you may not feel some of the differences, it's actually fighting battles that your body is fighting and you're not even aware of, because they're not big enough, or they don't have an impact on you yet. But over time, it will build, and that will impact your skin quality, your hair quality, your sleep ability, your weight gain, your nervousness. And by taking it every day, you're actually keeping all of those things out of your system so they don't build up. And as you get older, you won't have a lot of the issues that a lot of other people do.
Yeah. Sure.
I've been taking OGS for a very long time, and I am the test dummy for a lot of our products. And I should be with the life I've lived, I should be in much worse shape than I am.
Yeah.
And I feel great every day.
Good.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I attribute a lot of it to this.
Yeah. Good. And being local, it's another benefit for people that would like to get that product too.
Yeah.
Is that, it's not something that's, way out in another part of the country here. It's right here in Ocala. So that's, it's a great product.
Yeah.
And I know that I've used it for not only for myself, but I've used it for my animals. It's worked out really well, and it has helped a tremendous amount of people that we've had in the store to get better gut health, and has rewritten a couple of people's lives because of what's changed for them and their outlook. So that's been a very big part of it, and it's great to have you here to talk about it today.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me in, and all of our products are American made. We take a lot of pride in what we do. We're a family run company, and we're very focused on quality and on being effective. There are a lot of products in the market right now, and the choices are mind boggling.
Yeah.
The beauty of our product is it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
No.
There's not a lot of complexity to it.
No.
There's not a lot of, there are no side effects.
Mhm.
So it really just helps you have a better life.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're shooting for. So I appreciate you having me here and selling our product. You know, it's great to have people comment to us that they bought it here and it's had a tremendous benefit
Yeah.
to them.
Good.
You know, we appreciate that.
So what we'd like to do for the people that are watching this, we're going to be doing a special offer for this product, Organic Gut Solutions. This is the 60 count pill. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a code. It's going to be OGS20. You're going to get 20% off of this product from this video. So just make sure you tell when you come into the store and mention that code so that we can give you that discount off of that. And thank you again. Appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you on other podcasts.
Thank you very much. Take care.